Hey everyone, I hope you all are safe and doing good. So, in this lecture, we are going to discuss control flow statements in Java. So, basically, what we'll discuss in this lecture, we'll see what are control flow statements and why you need before going for a new topic. This thing is very important. These two questions: what is and why you study that concept? What is the need? So, first, we will see these two things. Then we will discuss types of control flow, and basically in detail in this lecture we will see mainly decision making statements: if else if ladder nested if, with some exercises, coding exercises, and lots of practical we'll do. Okay, now first let's see what are control flow statements. See, as the name suggests, control flow. So from the name only, we can analyze that these statements are going to control the flow. But flow of what? We are discussing these statements in the context of programming. We are going to write programs, right? So these are, we can say, going to control the flow of execution of a program based on certain conditions. Let's take one example: those traffic lights. When the light is green, you go. When the traffic light is red, you stop. So the traffic light, the signal is going to handle or going to manage the flow of traffic based on, there are some condition based on timing. Somewhere the red signal is for 60 second, 120 second, or 20 second, right? Or somewhere if there is no traffic signal, then there would be traffic police or traffic inspector, and he is going to control the flow of the traffic based on, like, maybe using his hand, and suppose, like, based on some condition, based on like timing, and obviously the heavy flow of the traffic. Because of heavy traffic, if there is heavy traffic, then suppose this side there is heavy traffic, so he will stop the traffic of this side or this side, and let this side traffic to go, then this side traffic to go, based on hands, based on the hand signal. You have faced this kind of situation, you generally face this kind of situation every day when you travel, right? So traffic lights or the traffic police is going to control the flow of the traffic based on timing, based on the flow, the heavy traffic or light traffic. Because generally in morning when you go, then the traffic lights are free in morning, like 4 or 5 or 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. But in afternoon or in evening, when you go to that side only or to that road only, you will see that there is traffic light. Okay, so based on some condition, they are going to control the flow of the traffic. So same in programming also, we have some statements, those can control the flow of execution of a program. But why you need to control the flow of execution of a program? Why? Generally, you see what the execution of a program is. I have told you that is sequential. Means you tell everything you write in a program, right? The entry point is, suppose this is main, the entry point is main. And after that, JVM will execute the line by line, this line, then this line, then this line, then this line, till the end. So computer, we have to tell each and every instruction to computer, and computer, the JVM will compile or will execute the instruction line by line in sequence. Suppose addition of two number. So simply you will take two numbers, int a, or if you ask from user, then also you can use scanner class. Then you will say like int sum is equal to a plus b, and you simply print sum. And here we have main. So first control will go to main, then to this line, then this line, and then simply exit. One say this. That's it. But every time the sequential flow is not useful. As in real life also we see every day, it's not like that sequentially you do every task. You have to decide something based on certain conditions. For example, if you are going for a water park, then there is some condition. It's not like that you go, take the ticket, enter into the water park, ride every slide and come back. No, there are certain conditions. You go there, you will see that there is a condition. If the child height is above, like, 36 centimeter, then you need to take the ticket, otherwise the child is free. Somewhere this condition is there. Sometimes, like, for couple they have some discount. If you are a couple, then you will get some discount. If you are senior citizen, you will get some discount. Okay, so these kind of conditions are there. It's not like that everybody go, take the ticket, ride every slide and come back. No, every, in daily life you face these kind of situations. Every time, most of the time in the day, you have to take some decision based on some conditions, right? So same in program, when you write down, when you will write down the projects, when you will develop the projects, when you will develop the softwares, when you will write the, it's not like you will write only the simple program, sum of two numbers, subtraction of two number. No, you will write those large programs as well. You will work on projects as well. So there, only sequential flow will not be useful. You have to control the flow of your program based on some conditions. Like suppose if you want to find out a number is even or odd, then you have to give some condition. If this, that number mod 2 is equal to 0, then only print even number, otherwise else. So if this condition is true, then only execute these statements. If this condition is false, skip these statements and execute the else block. It's not like that one by one, first this line, then this line, then this line, then else block. No, there is no sequential flow. We are controlling the flow here using if else because we need that. It's a requirement. And same, when you will be working on real world projects, or when you are going to solve the real world problems using your software or projects, then you have to decide something based on some condition. That's why you need control flow statements. These are necessary part of programming, of writing a program. If else, loops, jump statements. Without these, you cannot build a software, or you cannot build a project, a good project. A simple program, sum of two number, that is fine. That you can write without using a control flow statement. So that's why we need control flow statements. Each and every time you have to decide based on certain conditions. Right? So I hope this is clear. What are control flow statements and why we need control flow statements in program. Now let's discuss what are the importance also here. The real life example is also given. These statements enable programs to make decisions. If else statements come under this, or repeat some task, loops, repetition. If you're going to repeat the same task again and again and again, we use loops. And respond to the different scenarios, making the software more dynamic and efficient. And that's exactly we want. Whatever software you are making, that would be efficient and dynamic. So these are the main construct of writing a program or a software. Okay, control flow statements. Okay, now types of control flow statements. So basically three types are there. First is decision making, looping, and jump statement. Decision makings, here if statement comes. Decision making, you are going to make some decision based on certain conditions. So if statement. Now if, and there are different variation of if else if ladder, nested if. So all these things, these statements we'll be discussing in this video in detail. In next lecture, we'll see these things. Next are looping statements, for loop, while loop, do while loop. These are going to, if you want to repeat the same task, then we use looping statements. Jump statements, break, continue, return. Same in real life, like you have to jump, long jump, high jump. So if you jump, then you just skip that space, that distance, right? So same, you, if you want to skip in programming also, some statements jump from one statement to here only, that is also possible. That scenario we can implement in programming with the help of jump statements, right? So these things we'll discuss. This first statement, decision making statements, we'll discuss in this video, right? So first let's see simple if statement. Simple if, this is very simple. It is a decision making statement. So based on certain condition you decide, right? Simple if means what? Suppose you have like, based on some condition you have to decide, like if your exam time is going on and your friends ask, let's go for a movie, and you say that no, I can't go because tomorrow I have an exam. So the condition was, if you have exam you will not go. Based on that you have decided. But now they say that your crush is also coming for the movie, then you say that okay, I'm also coming. So based on that condition, your crush is coming, then you changed your decision that okay, I'll also come. Okay, So simple if. There, suppose you go to supermarket and your mom say, if oranges are there in supermarket available, buy oranges. That's it. Only one choice you have, only one condition you have. And based on that, you have to do some certain task. Otherwise, skip that task. If orange is available, buy. Otherwise, means no. Nothing else you have to buy. Come back to home. So this is basically known as single selection statement. If true, the syntax is this. General syntax of writing if is this. If this is a keyword, and in bracket you put some condition, or I can say this is more specifically I say then that is boolean expression. Now boolean expression always evaluate to either true or false, either true or false, and that's exactly we want within this if. Within this if, here you can say boolean expression, you can write boolean expression, or we can write somewhere you can say the condition as well, but more specifically, more precisely, if you want to write, then you have to write boolean expression. So here either true or false, based on that you decide something. Means if you have exam, if that is true, you cannot go for a movie. If your crush is coming, you will go for a movie. This kind of thing, true or false. So boolean expression is something that evaluates to either true or false, nothing else, and that's exactly we want. So if this condition is true, then in these curly bracket we write code, then only this code would be executed, only then. That's it. So there is only this is basically known as single selection statement, right? If suppose if age greater than equal to 18, then we write in system.out.println, or the SOP we can simply write you can vote, and that's it. Simple if. Only one condition is there. See, only one condition is there. That's it. We want to check only one condition. Based on that, we want to perform something. Otherwise, skip that thing. If this condition is not true, then whatever you write here, after just after this if block, that would be executed. Suppose here I write SOP outside if. And age, suppose I am writing age is equal to 20. Sorry, age is equal to 20 because we use assignment operator only. So 20 means this condition is true. This is Boolean expression, or we can say this is an expression basically, right? So here we can say this is an expression, right? And this complete is a statement. Or if I write something like this, like int age is equal to 20 with semicolon, so this age equal to 20, only this is expression excluding the data type and the semicolon, right? But this complete is a statement, valid statement. Data type age is equal to 20 with semicolon. Statement means those are executable by the JVM. So this complete is a statement. Generally statements are ended with a semicolon. But here this if until here, this is also a complete statement. This is executable, right? But it is not ended with like semicolon, because one reason may be this closing bracket indicates that this is end of the statement. Generally semicolon indicates in a programming, not in Python but in C, C++, Java, semicolon indicates that this is end of the statement, one statement. But here this closing bracket indicates that this is end of the statement, no need to write the semicolon here. So this complete is a statement, right? This complete is also a statement, right? Now this complete is also a statement, right? Okay, now you know something about statements and expression also, I hope. Now white spaces are also there. Like if I write something like this, int space age equal to 20, Java will ignore all these white spaces and compile the code and run the code. Okay, don't worry. Now, okay, let's back to the topic here. If, simple if. So I hope the working is clear to you. Now a is equal to 20. So this condition is true. This would be evaluated to true. True means this block would be executed, whatever is there. and then control will go outside of this block, if block. Outside of this if block is this condition, so this statement, so this statement would also be executed. So the output here is can vote and outside if age is suppose 12, only 12, this condition true? No, this is false. In that case, control will not enter into this if block. Control will go just after this if block, and this statement would be executed, that is outside if. That's it. Okay. So I hope you got the working of if statement. And ideal for single statement check. If you have only single statement, you can check using this, where the code should execute only if the condition is true, otherwise skip the code. That's it. Only single statement. No otherwise, no nothing else. Like your mom say you go to supermarket, if oranges are available, buy, otherwise come to home. Then simple if is okay, fine. But generally we have more than one condition also. Or if this is not true, then then do this thing. If oranges are not available, then buy mangoes. So two conditions are there. Two choices. You have two choices. Orange, mango. If orange is available, buy oranges. Otherwise, buy mango. Only two choice you have. So for that, one more type of control statement is there, that is if else. We will see practically also. Don't worry. So these exercise also we'll see. Don't worry. Now simple if else. So this if else will have an else block also. If orange is available, buy oranges. Otherwise, buy mangoes. So that otherwise, in general term we use otherwise. In programming term we use else. So simple. The syntax for this is if same the boolean expression. This is the code block if the condition is true. And we have one more block, that is else. Else this block would be executed. Okay. If this condition is false, then control will go to this else block and this code would be executed. If this condition is true, then control will enter into this block, if block, and this block would not be executed. Control will directly, after executing these statements, control will directly go outside of the if block, if else block. Whatever is there, that would be executed. Right? Same if this condition is false, control will go to the else block, then control will go directly to the statement just after, which is written just after the if else block. So here the thing is, either if or else block would be executed, not both. That is for sure. Either this or this would be executed, not both. Okay. Like if your crush is coming, you will go for a movie. Otherwise, you will study. It's not like that you will go for a movie as well as you study. No, only one thing would be there. Either go for a movie or study. Now, based on that condition, if crush is coming, go for movie, else study. Not both the things would happen at the same time. So, at the same time, only one block would be executed here. Okay. Suppose one example is like if score is greater than equal to 60, then just print pass, else fail. So we have two choices. One is pass, one is fail, and based on this condition, you decide either this or this. And in if simple if, we will have only one, we were having only one condition and one choice only. That's it. Otherwise, just skip that part and do whatever is there outside of that if. So this is like extension of if. This if else is, we can say this is extension of if. Right? Use cases when you need to execute one block of code if the condition is true and another block of code if the condition is false. In previous case, if the condition is true, you want to execute that block only, no else. You haven't given if the condition is false, then this would be executed. No, nothing else. But here we do that thing. If condition is false, execute another statement, another block of statement. So simply you can write this thing. So there are many variations of writing if and if else, right? Those variations I'll show you when we will see now the program or the practical. Don't worry. Right now, you just understand the theory part. Okay. What is the syntax of writing if else, and this thing. Now, if I draw the flow chart of if and if else, then see. Now, I hope you got the working. So now it's up to you. You pause the video and try to draw the flowchart of simple if statement as well as if else statement, right? Pause the video and write this, try this out. So this is simple flowchart of if. I'm writing the simple, not the complete flowchart of any particular program, but just if. So we check the condition. Two cases are there. It's true or false. If it's true, then body of if. Whatever is there within those curly brackets, those statements would be executed. And then statement just after the if block. If the condition is false, then body of if would not be executed and the control will directly go to the statement just after if block. This is simple flowchart of if. If else. Now draw the flowchart of if else. This is flowchart for simple if else. If this condition is true, then body of if block would be executed. If this condition is false, then body of else block would be executed. And after that, the control will go in both the cases to the statement just after the if else block, those statement would be executed. So these are simple flowchart of if and else. Now let's see this practically, then we will move to further else if ladder and nested if, right? So let's open our project, and that is we are discussing this at first project. Whatever there we will discuss in the lecture, those programs would be in the first project. This thing. So in the source code, let's create a new file, and here we will write simply learning or if demo. That's it. All the variations of if we will see in this else if and nested if and else if ladder. So in the main, let's take one this thing. Let's take with this one example, that is suppose temperature temp, or let's write down temperature here. And this temperature we will not take from the user. Let's just initialize this thing here only, that is 45 degrees Celsius. The temperature is, we assume that it is in Celsius. So check the condition. If in Delhi it's common in summers, there is generally that heat wave alert. So if the temperature is suppose greater than 40, then just print that there is a heat wave alert and stay indoors. Just print this thing. So we have to check only one condition. If there is one condition only, if the temperature is greater than or equal to 40 degrees Celsius, then simply print heat wave alert. That's it. Simple if we have only one condition, based on that, just do this thing, otherwise skip this, nothing else. And let's, for better understanding, let's print after this if, we simply print here outside if. That's it. It's outside if. This is the simple program we have. Only one condition we need to check, and based on that, we will do some task. We will execute some statements. So let's just first here select the current file and now run this. So the temperature is 45. So we know that this condition is always true. And this will say heat wave alert, stay indoors, and as well as the outside if this statement would be executed. Now, if this is, suppose the temperature is 38. Now this condition is not true, right? So control will not enter here. Control will directly go to the statement which is just after the if block, that is outside if. So only one line would be printed here, that is outside if. See, right? So this is simply if. Now there are some variations. You can skip these parentheses. If within the if block there is only one statement, this is important one, then you can skip this parenthesis and it will not give any error, and it will run, it will give you outside if in this case. And if the temperature is suppose here same we take 45, then it will give you same output. This would also be executed and the second statement would also be executed. But the thing is, it will work only if you have only single statement within this if block. Suppose I have one more statement. I want to write one more statement within this if. That is, I want that these two statements would be executed. If the temperature is greater than equal to 40, heat wave alert. Second statement is eat healthy and avoid junk food. Let's run this. What do you think? What output you will get? Let's first put these into parentheses. So this is what I want to execute if this condition is true. So this condition is right now true. So two statement would be printed. Both these statements. This and this. And obviously outside if would also be printed. Right? But if you remove this, then let's run this and see what output you will get here. Okay, right now also you three statements are to be printed, but you are not getting what I want to show here. You will get that thing if I change the temperature here 38 or 39. What do you think now? This condition is not true. It is false. So you must be thinking you will get this error. So you will get this output outside if only these two statements would be ignored, because this condition is not true. This condition is false. But let's run this and tell your answer. Oh, you are getting here these two lines: eat healthy, avoid junk food, as well as outside if, but not this first line. Why so? Because I have told you, if you do not put the parenthesis here after if, then only one statement, whatever you will write just after the if, that would be considered within the if block. So here, within this if block, only one statement would be considered, that this is within the if. And now the condition is not true. So control would be outside of the if. Means both these two statements are outside of the if. Right? But if you want that these two statements would be considered inside the if block only, then you have to specify parenthesis. But generally avoid this thing that don't put parenthesis if you have a single line, if you have a single statement. Then only it's always recommended that always put parenthesis, even if you have a single line. Because sometimes maybe if you forgot and there are no parentheses and you still want these two lines to be executed if this condition is true, but at that time you will get some unexpected behavior from the program, but that's your fault. It's not this JVM fault. JVM will execute according to the condition given and according to the instruction you have given to JVM, right? So always put parenthesis. Now one thing, the condition should always be written in these brackets, round brackets, otherwise you will get an error. It's not a statement, right? So you have to put here in Python, these parentheses, these brackets are optional, I guess. If you want to put, you can put, otherwise it will not give any error. You can put the condition without these brackets also. Python is easy one. Next, suppose you put here semicolon. See, you are not getting any error. Don't think that you will get error. And this type of question generally being asked, what is the output of this code snippet? And they you will think that it's very simple. If, okay, there is if and there is a semicolon, so it will give error, and you just see there is a compilation error. But no, you are not getting any error here. This is the thing you have to keep in mind. So that you can write this if in many ways. And you can, so that's why I always say that just play with your code. Don't just think ma'am has written this thing and that's final. No. Try to do different things with your code and see what kind of output you are getting. You're getting error or not, and these kind of things. So right now, what do you think? What output you will get here? Let's run this and see. See all the three statements you are getting. Now suppose, let's check this condition. Right now this condition is false, so let's make it true. Let's change this to 45 and let's see now. In this case also you are getting all the three lines to be executed. Why so? Because this this is what a termination. So it is going to terminate the statement if statement here only. So it has terminated the statement here only. So these are the in a sequential flow the control will the JVM will execute all these things. First this line, then this line, but this line has been terminated here only, the if. So same, then next this line, then this line, then this line. So you have terminated the condition here only. So it will not check based on true or false, it will not do something else. It will simply do the sequential execution of the program. So you'll not get any error, but this output you will get. Either the condition is true or false, it doesn't matter. Always these statement would be executed, whatever is the statement within this if block. So this thing you need to remember. So I guess that's it for if. Now let's try out some coding exercises based on if. And what are those exercises? Okay, before going for the exercise, I just want to tell you one thing also. I've told you this is a condition or this is a Boolean expression. Always a Boolean expression here. Boolean expression means it would always be evaluated to a Boolean value, either true or false. Simply if I write here temperature. Temperature is 45, that is int. And see, the provided type is int and required type is Boolean. So let's run this and you will get an error also here. Int cannot be converted to Boolean in line number 4. In line number 4. Java incompatible types. So here this is int, but in if always Boolean type is required, either true or false. Otherwise if will not work. In Java especially. In I guess C, if there is, this will work. Because any value other than 0 would be considered as true. So it will work in C, but in Java it will not work. Here you have to specify that Boolean. So that's why I have told you here always write Boolean expression. So here Boolean expression always contains some Boolean value or the relational operators and logical operators. So less than 45. It's not like that you have to write here one condition only. You can write something else also, like something and suppose we have one more Boolean variable, that is you are in India or not. So in India is true. So and in India. So if the condition is, sorry, if the temperature is greater than equal to 40 and you are in India, then only like heat wave alert and eat healthy and this thing, right? So in this kind of time we have used logical and operator, also relational operator, and this is what Boolean thing, Boolean expression. If I write here not equal to, what do you think? What output you will get here? Pause the video and just let me know. Okay, how will you let me know? But pause the video and try this out. What output you will get, and then run this and just tell your answer. So this condition is true, right? So one we have, this is true. Logical and not in India. In India is true, but this is logical not. Means it will invert the value. True means it will invert like to false. 0 to 1 or 1 to 0. So this, sorry, क्या लिख रही हूँ यार मैं? True, logical and false. So it will give you false and only this statement would be executed. Because logical and will give on one only if both are true, both are 1. So outside if. Right. So like this, there is an expression, complete expression. You can here check multiple conditions or one more condition with this you can write, or and you can write 3, 4, 5, 6, many condition you can write within this if. It's not like that you can write only one condition. But ultimately this expression would be evaluated to a Boolean value, true or false. Then only this if will work. Right? So now these are the exercises for simple if statement. Write a program that checks if the number is positive and print positive if true. Simple. Write a program that determines if a person is eligible for a senior citizen discount. And the condition is age is 65 plus. Then, or you can say 65 and 65, more than 65. Okay. So you have to write down that if it is eligible or not, means person is eligible and something like this. Only one condition you need to check. Write a program to check the number is even, positive, or zero. Here you have to check three things: even, positive, and zero. Three choices you have. But you have simple if. You cannot use if else or else if later. No, because we have only discussed simple if. So you have to use the constraint is to solve this problem. You have to use if. That's it. No if else, no else if. No. Okay, pause the video and try all the three exercises right now. So let's open our project, that is coding exercises, and there in a new window, let's open it. I hope you have done all these things. So in this, let's create a new file here, new Java class, and the name is simple if coding exercises. That's it. So all the three exercises we will discuss in the same file only. So first is the number is positive. You have to check the number is positive. So int num, and let's take from the user input. So let's create an object of the scanner class, and this number is int. So next int we are going to use. You can take float as well or double as well. It's up to you. Or you can take any other like byte, short. Though that thing will also take integer value, but the range is different. So this thing we have discussed many times, how to take input from scanner class. So no need to, I think, discuss this. The condition is if num is positive. Positive means it would be greater than 0. Then we consider that number is positive. So that's it. Now in cout we can simply print number is positive. That's it. You have to check only one thing. If this is the case, then number is positive, just print this. Let's run this, and we will enter here a positive number first, 45. So number is positive. If suppose you enter a negative number, then you will not get any output. Let's enter minus 89. Sorry, minus 89. And see, no output is there. Because minus 89 means this condition is not true. So control will go where? Just after this if block, and there is nothing after this if block. If you write something, if you want to check what would be printed like, so you can simply print outside if. And now run this, and now just enter a number negative 89. So outside if you enter 0 as well, then also it will give outside if, because we haven't, see, we have put this condition number is greater than 0, then only print number is positive. If 0, then also it will not print. Like, there is no negative 0 and positive 0, right? So you have to check many conditions. It's not like that only with the one condition you are done. Maybe you want to print if the number is not positive, print it is a negative number, and also check if number is positive or negative or 0. That also we can do. So this is one exercise. The next is just comment out this line, and here just write the program is check number is positive. So now let's move to the next exercise, and that is create a program that determines if a person is eligible for a senior citizen discount. So you have to take for this age. Same we will take from input from user. We'll simply ask what is the age of the person, and then we check if the age, the condition is 65 plus. So let's not include 65 here. If age is greater than 65, then only just print. So simply print if the condition is true, just this. I haven't used any parenthesis here. So don't worry, it will work fine, because I have only one statement to execute within this if. That's why parentheses are optional. So 65 or 67. The person is eligible for senior citizen discount, and outside if. If you run this again, and let's take the age is like 23, just outside if. Okay. but it's always recommended to use these parentheses for better understanding, for the better readability of the code. This is the second one. So let's comment out this and now move to the third exercise. And it's always a good practice to close the scanner because this is the resource scanner, right? This is a class and we are creating the object and like this. So you have to close the scanner when you are not using this. How to close? I'll show you in this next exercise. So same, you have to check, you have to take a number. So let's take this number from user using scanner class. Let's check now. If you have to check number is even, positive or 0. So only if you can use. So if, let's suppose for 0 we check if num equal to 0, then we will simply print number is 0. Then check next condition if, because we have only if, we cannot use else if or anything else. We will see this the same example with the different scenario as well using if else if ladder. So if num for even number mode 2 equal to 0. Sorry, it's mode. Remainder operator we use. And if this is true, then simply print number is even. Next, you have to check number is positive. So if num same greater than 0, it's positive. And simply print out outside if after all the if. Let's run this and see what kind of output we are getting for this. Enter the number you want to check. Number is 6. Number is even, number is positive outside if. Okay, because this number is even as well as positive, and then outside if would definitely be executed. Let's run this again. You want to check -8. Number is even, but it is not 0, it is not positive, so that's it. Number is even and outside if. If you run this, then again we check 0. Number is 0, it is even and outside if. Right? But the thing is here, all the three condition number is suppose 8, so first it will check this condition. This is not true. Okay, then it will check this condition. It is true. Yes. Then this would be printed. Then again it will check this condition. If 8 greater than 0, yes, this is also true, so this would be printed. But this is not a correct way to check multiple conditions and using multiple if. Right? We have many other good alternative also to check multiple conditions and to write down this program. But right now we have only if, that's why we are writing this. Because in all the cases would be checked. We can also do one thing like using logical on or logical and operator. We can combine these conditions as well. Right? Rather than checking one condition within one if, we can write down this logical and num greater than 0. Then we can write number is positive and even. Within one statement also we can check. Okay, now that's it for these three exercises. Now let's see the exercises for if else. So now let's move back to our first project. We have already opened our first project. This is what we discuss in lecture. So if else, the theory is clear. Now let's try out some if else statements. So same example, let's take if temperature is this and in India, if true, then execute this and see. Else, I want to check if this condition is not true, then it should print you can go outside. Enjoy and you can go outside. So for that we have to use if else because here we have two cases. If this is true, execute this. If this is false, execute something else. Two selection. So that's why it is if else is known as double selection statement. Two choices we have and out of these two choices you have to select one. So we can simply print here after this in else block else C out. Sorry, not C out. We are in Java, not in C++. Or let's take here only one condition. If this is true, greater than 40, then this, else Just print you can go outside. That's it. So this is simple if and else. Let's run this and see. It will print, obviously the condition is true, so these two statement would be executed, and then outside if this condition is false, let's suppose temperature is only 4 degree. Let's run this and it will print you can go outside and outside if. Either this or this would be executed, not both at the same time. Either this or this. Now one thing is, without if you want to write down else, then it will give you error. Suppose let's just comment out this if, and I just want to write down else only. It will give you error. Else without if. So there must be a if you want to use else, right? But here the thing is, without else we can write down if. Only one if we can write down. Else is not compulsory that you have else. We have seen simple if. But if you want to use else, there must be a if before the else, right? If you put here semicolon, it will see else statement has empty body. Means this would not be considered as the body of the else now. Let's run this and see what output we are getting here. Greater than 40, so this condition is not true. Suppose this condition is true. Let's make it, let's make the temperature 45. What do you think? What output you will get? Condition is true. So control will enter into this if and then just outside of the if else. This should not be executed, right? According to the, obviously the funda of if else. But see, you are getting here, you can go outside. Whatever is there within the cells. Why? So because this else is now you have terminated the cells. Else has an empty body now. So the statement would be considered as a simple, this simply the outside of if. In else there is no statement. So these two statements are considered as outside of both the if else. So please take care of these things. These kind of questions you can face in interview or some competitive exams. So just remove this. And same if you have only one statement within the cells, you can just remove these parentheses and that's fine. But it's always a good practice to put parentheses here. So this is simply if else. But you cannot put here the condition. Suppose you think that let's put a condition here. Like temperature less than 40. Then you can go outside. Let's put one condition else. This will give error. It's not a statement. It's not a valid statement. You cannot put simply in else a condition something like this. If you want to check more than one condition, we have else if ladder. So that we will see also. But simple if in within this else you cannot put a condition something like this. So just remove this. Now let's discuss some coding exercises based on if else. So there are three exercises for if else. First is you have to create a program that determines if the number is positive or negative. Two things, positive or negative. Write code to find maximum. You have two number and you have to find which one is maximum. Third is implement a simple calculator that performs addition or subtraction based on user input. Let's suppose I'm just these both. Okay, so three exercises are there. These two are simple one. Write a program that determines if the number is positive or negative. Positive or negative, two things. If a number is positive, you have to print yes, number is positive, else it is negative. You have two numbers and you have to find out maximum among between these two numbers. Only two numbers you have. The third one is little bit tricky. Simple calculator that perform addition or subtraction based on user input. Means either addition or subtraction. So suppose you can take two numbers, like let me just give you some hint, two numbers, and you have to input from the user like the choice, something like this, choice of the user. If user enter 1, then perform addition. Otherwise, subtraction, something like this. So for condition, you have to check if choice is equal to 1, there you can write down the logic of addition. In else, you can write down the logic for subtraction, this kind of thing. Simple. Just addition and subtraction. So pause the video and try these exercises. So I hope you have done this. Now we are back to our project coding exercises and let's create a new Java class. And here, right? if else, if else coding exercises. So all the three we will be discussing here only. In the main, first is the number is positive or negative. So let's take a number. Let's take the input from the user. So we've taken the input from the user. Now check if this num is, let's see, greater than or equal to 0. We are not checking specially for 0 that the number is 0 because there is no positive or negative 0. So we consider 0 in positive number. So if the number is greater than equal to 0, then simply print number is positive. Now in the previous case we have checked only the number is positive. There was no like number is negative. You have to check that thing also. But here this is the extension of if. That's why we are saying extension of if is if else. Else simply print number is negative. That's it. And here I'm simply printing outside of if else after this. Let's run this and see what output you are getting here. Enter the number you want to check and 3. Number is positive. And then outside if else. Because number is positive, so let's take a negative number, -9. Number is negative and outside if else. Right? So either this or this would be determined. Not both at the same time would be executed. Either if or else. Because if and else, these are not friend, these are enemies. So either if will go or else will go. Both will not go in the same party. So this is one example. Now next example is what? Next exercise is what? You have two numbers and you have to find out maximum among two numbers. So we have taken input from user. So here we have like two numbers, num1 and num2, two variables. Then we have taken input from user using scanner class num1 and num2. Now you have to put the condition. If this num1 is greater than num2, then what do you think? What you will print? Obviously num1 is greater. Num1 is maximum. So you simply print num1 is num1 is greater than num2. Else only one thing is left. Else num2 would be greater than num2 is greater than num1. So as simple as that. And we simply print here outside if else. It's not compulsory to print this line outside if else, but that just to make you understand that after executing either this or this, control will directly go to the statement which is written just after these if else block. So this is the statement. So just to make you understand this thing, I'm writing this extra statement here. But it's not compulsory to write down the statement. Okay. And yeah, one thing I always forget, you have to close the scanner as well. After completing this, then let's close a scanner. So scanner dot close like this. You can close because we are no more using these num1, num2, whatever the memory for these objects, num1 and num2. Let's run this. First number 2, second number -3. So num1 is greater than num2. Num1 is this, num2 is this. So this is how this is the second exercise. If you're not getting, pause the video, try this out, dry run this. Dry run is very important. Just write down this on a piece of paper and dry run this program, how this is working. Next exercise is addition or subtraction you have to do. Let's comment out this code and time for the next exercise. So addition, for addition same, suppose let's take rather than num1, num2, I'm taking int and b, and one is int, a variable int choice, right? Now with the help of user, we will first we will take the input a and b, the number and choice as well, and we will put the condition of choice. So So we'll just inform the user that enter 1 for addition. Okay. This is one the simple way I'm just implementing this code using if else. But there are multiple ways to implement this thing. We'll see later on using switch as well. We can discuss addition, subtraction, and many more. You can implement a calculator with switch also, switch statement. Switch statement also comes under decision making statement. If and switch, both the statements come under decision making statements. So enter 1 for addition. Okay, now enter your choice. So choice we have taken from user the input, and now we'll take the input of both the numbers A and B. So we have taken both the numbers as well, A and B from user. Now check if choice equal to 1, then okay, you have to perform first addition. So let's here take int, and a variable is sum equal to A plus B, and then we simply print addition is, and we will simply print whatever the sum. This is what if choice is 1, perform addition, and else just perform subtraction. So rather than this, here we just take one more variable, that is sub, int sub, and we simply do what, or int sub is equal to A minus B. That's it. And we simply print here subtraction is this. That's it. And after this, we are not printing any outside if else. I hope now you got the working of this, so no need to print every time in every exercise. Let's run this and see we are getting enter 1 for addition. Enter your choice 1. Sorry, 1. First number 4, second number 7. Addition is 11. So now let's run this again. At this time, we will enter something else. Choice is suppose 2. First number 3, second number 4. Subtraction is -1. So if the choice is 1, then only it will perform addition. Otherwise, whatever choice you will enter, it will perform subtraction only. Although this is not a correct way to implement this, but just to get you understand that, just to make you understand that this is how if else work. This is the simplest implementation of this thing, addition subtraction. Because obviously here also we can check, like if the choice is maybe 2, then subtraction. Then some cases if the choice is 3, we want to do addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulo, all the 5 based on the choice. Then using simply if and else we cannot do, because here we have only 2 choice. It can do either this or this, right? But more than 2 condition you want to check, sorry, more than you can say 3, 4, 5 condition you want to check, multiple condition, then for that we have else if ladder. In this case, one condition we can check, if this is true, if block would be executed, if this is false, else block would be executed. Only one condition we can check, either one or either this or this we can select. So this is how uh, simple if else is working. So I hope you got working of if and if else. Now we are left with else if ladder and nested if. These two things we'll discuss in next lecture. For now, we just practice this if and else if. So now I'll see you in the next lecture. Till then, bye bye. Take care.